Okay, so we're in Kidderminster, just walking to a couple of the properties we've bought recently. So I've had a few issues there with the river saying that it's a flood risk, which it isn't, because it hasn't flooded in nearly 70 years, and they've put more flood defences in since then, so that's not an issue. But if you look at that building there, the one with the prescription collection and delivery service, we've just bought that one, completed at the back end of last year. We'll walk through it in a bit. And then we have also completed on a couple down there, so we'll cross the road and we'll show you the other two. So that's that one. We're going to rent the ground floor and convert the uppers into 2 apartments. And then there's this one. As you can see, it's pretty. It's a well-known building there. If you see that sign, Fleetwood Mac and T-Rex played here. We bought that, and we have to keep a few of the features, but we're going for planning on that as well. We're going to keep the ground floors like a cafe and turn the upstairs into apartments. And then we bought this one as well, so we can get upstairs through that door there and all of this building. So all in all, I think we're talking about 10,500 square feet for the 2 joining properties, and another 2,000 square feet on the one further down the road. So around 12,500 square feet we paid for that. So this is the one building on the end. Got a light in your phone. So as you can see, this was an old cafe, and it was just used for storage out the back really. That was next door what we bought. The kitchen used that, what would you call that?
It's just a vent, isn't it, to get rid of all the smell
and stuff, yeah. So yeah. Just empty rooms these, to be honest. Toilets, and that door is just storage, doesn't really go anywhere. This is like a cafe. So Frenchy, what's happening down here?
What, in its entirety, or number 4 itself?
The downstairs here, number 4.
So number 4, if I'm not mistaken, we've got 6 or 7 studio rooms with a shared kitchen space.
Yeah.
Around a 16 square metre kitchen. I think the average square meterage of the studios in this part is around 22, 23 square metres.
Nice.
We've got a little hurdle, as you know, to get over on the back here, because it leads.
Let's talk about that.
If we walk down, this part was obviously an old cafe, as you've probably worked out from what you've seen so far. But this back here is more of like a service yard.
Yeah.
So if you maybe shoot the camera back towards this wall here that we're about. So the dispute is that the 3 bedrooms that are due to back on to this area here at the back of the property aren't going to have enough daylight coming through. So we've got to prove to Wyre Forest Council that there is enough daylight. This is a part of the BREEAM regulations, the BREE guidance. Not that I know too much about it. We just need to prove that there's enough daylight coming through these bedroom windows to sort of pass that test, if you like. This roof right above our heads now, this is all coming away, and this area here is going to be during the build it's going to be like our own service yard for storing materials, the skip, welfare, etc. But once the development's been completed, it's going to store big enough to store 21 cycles,
bin storage
as well in the corner over there, and it'll be a recreational space for the residents to sort of sitting, if you like, outside of the bedroom and outside of the communal space that they've got in the kitchen area as well. So originally we'd got where the roller shutter is now. We'd planned to obviously take that away and just fence it, so you would have had more daylight coming through, because obviously as you well know, if you're watching this, you've got anything to do with property or anything remotely linked to it, you know fencing's around 1.8 metres high, so you'd have had probably a good metre and a half between the top of the fence and the top of the roller shutter as you look at it now, which would have been letting light come in horizontally and vertically from the open roof space as well, so that would have been adequate. But they've asked of us to not do that. They want it bricked up for sort of security reasons, which you can sort of understand. We've caught up with our builder about it. Instead of just bricking that up, we're going to bring the general height of the wall that's behind you now, that wall there as you're looking now through the camera, and this wall where you've got the roller shutter now. We're going to bring the height of that wall down by around a metre, so that when these bedroom windows are in place here at the back, they won't be just looking out at another wall, they'll be looking out actually over, might be worth showing,
the retail park.
Over the retail park, over the back here. And in doing so, they'll have the required amount of daylight to meet regulation.
Yeah.
So that's sort of our last hurdle, I believe, to get those last 3 rooms through planning. There's 21 in total. Obviously losing 3 rooms would be a big deal. It's circa what? £450 worth of rent a week. So that over the year, at a gross yield of say 10%, has quite a big impact on our overall GDV for the whole development. So we're obviously digging our heels in a bit, and we're trying to work with them, which they seem receptive to get around that.
So that's the ground. Issue. That's the ground floor. Obviously, you can see the roof there at the back. That's the upstairs. Have you got the keys to get in there?
Yep.
Yeah.
No.
I've got the keys up there, but we've got upstairs. I think there's going to be another upstairs. 6 or 7 units up there.
Yeah, there's 21 in total. I think you've got 6 where we've just been. You've got another 6 or 7 upstairs, and then on top of number 5, which is what you can
this one
see
what I'm
is
looking at there.
La Brasserie, the top there with these nice old windows.
Yeah.
That level would have the remainder. So what's that? 6 and 7 is 13. So you'd have about 8.
Yeah.
On the first floor of number 5.
Let's go in.
Should we go in? Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go into 5. So this is number 5 there. What I've got on the camera. That's number 4. Obviously we can't get upstairs, but this is development is 21 resi units and 3 commercial units. We've had to do quite a bit of jigging around for planners, but they've been relatively good in all fairness to them. This is when you're a disorganised sod like us, it's very difficult to manage keys, so you can see here the retail park, that's Marks and Spencer's next door. It's a good bit of property, to be honest.
Right, so we're obviously stepping
into it's a bit dark in here. Should we start upstairs?
Yeah, we're stepping into the ground floor of number 5 here.
There's a smell of dead pigeons as well, which is always pleasant. So it goes down there. Not much to see, to be honest. And this, I'm assuming, is where the T-Rex played up here. There are noises in here. I think there might be rats or something.
Yeah, so there is history behind this, isn't there? This was originally the first cinema in the whole of Kidderminster Town Centre. That was its first use. Then into, I think it was the dance studio first, after that. Before then, this music venue that we've described where T-Rex and Fleetwood Mac played. So it's got some real heritage and history behind it. Heritage in the sense of the actual building. There isn't anything here anymore. I mean, even these what look like original features have obviously just been put in
place there,
in the 2 or 3 developments that have occurred over the last 100 years. So and the only thing that we need to sort of be wary of is, I think you showed it at the start of the video, was the glazed blue tiles on the front, and that door and the plaque where it tells you about T-Rex and Fleetwood Mac.
Which I think we'd keep anyway, wouldn't we, to be honest?
Yeah, it's nice. It's a good
bit of history.
Yeah, nice bit of quality material, like. Bit of class.
Lead the way. That's a toilet in there. Just open office space here. So that looks out over the street. Original fireplace by the look of it. There's the river down there by the church. And then we're led downstairs.
It's quite dark down here, so pitch quality might go a little bit.
Yeah.
But what you're seeing now is the old La Brasserie restaurant. Obviously, where we've just been is the first floor, which they must have just used for functions when the restaurant took this building over and redeveloped it.
So this is the ground floor.
Its use that we're going to convert it into is going to be a mixture of 2 commercial units. So the idea potentially of a co-working space and coffee shop in this front section here.
How far back are we going to go for the cafe type?
Roughly speaking, they're around 100 square metres a piece, so you're probably talking around sort of here.
Yeah.
This coffee shop would stop
so
around here.
That'll be a coffee shop. And down there.
And then if you flip it round that way.
It's difficult to see, but this will be a different unit, won't it?
Yeah, just another commercial unit which will be accessed out the back.
So back-to-back commercial units downstairs and resi upstairs.
Yeah, and then also it's quite hard to envisage with its current setup and layout, but this quarter, if you like, of the building, this part of the ground floor here is going to be converted into a manager's quarters, office, another communal space down the end as well. Some storage for these 2 commercial units. You get a bit of a better idea of the space here where this kitchen is.
Used to be a restaurant, so this is what all this is about.
Yeah, so basically this ground floor is 2 commercial units. There's a manager's space that's going to be managing the 21 studio rooms once they're in place. And then obviously further communal space for the residents as well.
Yeah. So number 4 next door, what we've just seen on the ground, we couldn't get upstairs. Number 5, that's 10,500 square feet across the 2.
Yeah.
And that's 21 units and 3 commercial units. Is that right?
2 commercial units.
2 commercial units, right. And a manager's quarter, that was it, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so that's...
Do you want to run the figures quickly?
Yeah.
So we bought these 2 combined, 4 and 5 for 480,000 with an investor who's put, I think, 2 or 3 unencumbered properties down.
2 on these 2.
2 on these 2 rather.
We've got a bridging loan.
We've raised the debt against those 2 with a bridging loan to acquire these 2 properties. So as for money out of our own pocket on this particular deal has been 0, just a lot of time, hassle, obviously getting it through planning. We'll manage the whole process from start to finish when the development gets on site as well. And we'll do this hopefully time and time again with the same investor. We've already established quite a good relationship with this investor. So yeah, hence why he's kept coming back to us, and we'll continue to do so on completion of this development.
Right.
GDV, 21 rooms and 2 commercial.
Depends what rent we get out of it, but we'd like at least 1.7,
If you're working on about 10% yield, you're talking about 1.7ish as a ballpark.
And with a refurb of what, do you think?
I reckon if we work it on a basis of around 30-35k a room, and then if you said maybe 30-40k, possibly a little bit more on the 2 commercial spaces. So what's that? 21 times 30. So
about 700 grand, something like that.
650, 700 grand, plus your 480.
1.1, 1.2 mil.
Yeah.
and then you're up to
say 1.7 as a minimum for the GDV. So yeah,
decent margins.
Nice project.
And it's changing the town, which is an important part of it as well.
And it's a good location as well where it is.
Yeah.
We do high standard studios.
They'll be the best in the area, I have no doubt.
I'd say on average around 23, 24 square metres per studio.
Yeah.
Each with their own ensuite, each with their own kitchenette. And because of the size of them, their own little living sort of space as well.
Yeah.
So it's good quality rooms for obviously targeting the best type of professional tenant.
Let's get to 9. So that's 4 and 5 you've just seen. Back outside. And so we're at the rear now. We've obviously walked from the front at the beginning. There's another entrance there into 5, another entrance there into the patisserie. There's a few things we need to sort out down the side there as well. New roof as well going up there. Pigeons making a home in our building, charging them rent. So this is number 9. Yeah, it goes up there as well. So there's another service yard, storage. There was a funeral directors who were looking to do this, to rent this off us, the ground floor. But because we're going through planning, they wanted a lease that wouldn't work for us. So yeah, above there isn't nothing above this.
No.
Here, is there? No. So if you go through here, this is the ground floor. This is the one that used to be the pharmacy at the front.
This is about 90 odd square metres, just this part here.
It's about 1,000 square feet. Then.
Yeah,
it's a nice unit, this.
Yeah, perfect for
and it's
a lot of uses. Obviously a shop being the most obvious one. But it's quite a big space, isn't it? I mean, in fairness, you could easily split this into 2 units, couldn't you?
Yeah, easy.
Like a yard or whatever for maybe mechanics potentially, that sort of service at the back. With just a standard retail unit on the front here, which is where we're standing now.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of footfall out the front as well, which is good. And there's some like funky room.
Yeah, got like a pokey little
up here
living space up there. Yeah.
I don't know what they ever used it for, to be honest. So we've got this. This is going to be a resi unit, I think. Looks over the retail part. A toilet and kitchen area. Useful little space. So that's number 9 downstairs. And then we can get upstairs on this one as well. So this is going to stay as a retail unit, innit?
Yeah, that's the plan, isn't it? Bear with me, yeah. Can be a bit of a game to get inside this one.
McDonald's, Pizza Hut, Matalan, Premier Inn, TK Maxx, Marks and Spencer's. It's a good town, to be honest. I mean, I know some people think it's a bit of a dive, but I don't know, I quite like Kiddie. So this is 9A. It used to be a politician's office.
Yeah.
So we decided to boot him out.
Because he was shit. Right. Bit of temporary storage to get around business rates, hopefully.
That's it. That's the plan.
And a little bit more temporary storage up here, which you'll see in a minute. All above board, of course. So the plan originally up here was to have 4 studios. But for ease of planning, getting through that process quicker, we've decided upon just 2 good-sized one-bedroom apartments, haven't we?
Because you can get through permitted development on that, Corey.
Yeah, it'll go through PD. It's obviously an office space, which allows us to do that. And it's just a very quick, easy way of getting through planning, as I've said. Quite a simple development project as well, just 2 one-bed apartments. Plenty of daylight coming through from both ends of the building.
Yep.
This one here, if you just picture now that, if you can picture this being split in half down the middle here.
Yeah, more or less here, yep.
The apartment here will be designed in a fashion, more of an open plan fashion, to allow the daylight to come through into the apartment through the window there.
Yep.
This one is no issue because you've got 3 separate windows on their own anyway.
And there's a skylight here.
And a skylight as well. So
Yeah.
you probably have, you'll come up at the top of the stairs and you'll lead in on your left to this first apartment here. Bit of a corridor here and leading through to your second apartment behind you there.
Yeah. So
Both above.
numbers on this one?
Both above 37 square metres obviously as well.
Yeah, both mortgageable.
Numbers on this one, purchase price 187,500. I would say a refurb at the top here of circa, 80, 90k, about 45k an apartment. GDV based on 2 apartments.
And a rented ground.
Yeah, if you value your 2 apartments at circa 100k a piece, your ground floor is going to do around 12 grand a year on its own. So you're talking,
100, 200 plus say 140s, 150s.
Yeah, I think we were working on a 3 to 350 grand GDV. And we'd be all in for, let's say
260.
250, 260, yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll have 100, 200, 350 GDV there or thereabouts based on bricks and mortar and rent roll to back it up. And then
I think it's important to highlight as well here, we bought this off the same owner of the building that you've just seen as well, so it was like a combined deal. So although the figures might not look fantastic on this one on its own, it was bought in conjunction with the other building that you've just come out of. So on the whole, you're probably talking a GDV of around 2 million, and you're all in for about 1.4,
1.3,
so
1.4.
obviously these are quite rough figures because the rental market, we don't know what that's going to be. If we say in 12 months time all of this is going to be done, where you might be looking privately around 140 at the minute, you might be getting a week, that is, per room, you might be getting 160 in 12 months time, so it's going to push up the GDV on all of this combined. So they're quite rough figures, so to speak, but
This should chuck out about 30 grand a year once it's done easy.
yeah, so there we go.
Nice. And that's what we're buying in Kidderminster. So if you're ever about, let us know and we'll show you around. Or we are buying, turn the camera around, we are buying other things as well in Kiddy. So yeah, if you're ever about, let us know and we'll happily show you around. Or
We've got a viewing on Monday, haven't we?
yeah, what we looking at?
Vicky Street.
Semi-commercial and the one in the town centre, yeah.
So we've got one secured already. That's an old solicitor's building, 4,000 odd square feet. Grade 2 listed building, lovely looking place. Probably on the nicest street in Kidderminster town centre. And the plan again there is to convert into 8 stroke, potentially 9 apartments if we can get one on the basement down there. And then the other one that we're looking at again on Monday, which we have already viewed previously, but we're bringing an investor around who might want to come in with us on that one. That's already got planning, so some of the hard work's already been done on that.
Yep, 32 units in there.
So a lot going on.
Yep. All right, nice one.